As I told you in a video before, I really love reading. It's one of my... Sorry, my dog. Dash. Dash, come here. Come here. This is Dash. He's really naughty, but I love him. He's like my little baby, and I treat him that way, and he acts that way, so I love him. Alright. Go. Now. Bye-bye. Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, I really like to read, so I thought I would come up with a list of 20 books that everybody should read in April. It was really difficult for me to like narrow it down because there's so many books that I really love. So I'll probably be doing another video next month of books, 20 books you should read in May, because like, you know, reading is just awesome. I love reading. So let's start the list. There's Going Too Far by Jennifer Echols. Love Story by Jennifer Echols. Forget You by Jennifer Echols. I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name right. It's really difficult. The Last Song by Nicholas Sparks. The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. It's Not Summer Without You by Jenny Han. And We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. Those three by Jenny Han is a series. It's quite an easy read, and I read the first two the same day. Then there's Along for the Ride by Sarah Dessen. Blue Bloods by Melissa de la Cruz, which is like the beginning of a series of about, I think it's 6 books, which were all really good. The series didn't like just simmer down and end up sucking. Switched by Amanda Hocking, which is the beginning of a series. So far I think there's 3 books. I'm on the 3rd one. Then there's Delirium by Lauren Oliver, which is also a series, and it's really good as well. Then there's Such a Rush by Jennifer Echols. There's Broken and Screwed by Tijan, which is going to be a series. Broken and Screwed is the first one, then there's going to be another one. Later in the summer, I think it comes out. Then there's Significance by Shelly, which is also a series. Yeah, as you can see, I kind of really like series. It's my little thing. Then there's Stolen by Lucy Christopher, which is a book I really want to talk to you guys about because it's just, you know, it's just so, can't even explain it. Then there's Fallen Crest High by Tijan, which is another book that I really liked. There's Hopeless by Colleen Hoover, which, another good one. 10 Tiny Breaths by K.A. Tucker. Slammed by Colleen Hoover, and Taking Chances by Molly McAdams. That's all 20. And like, there's so much more that I wanted to show you guys, and it sucks that I can't. But yeah, so let me talk like a little, I don't know, what's it called, summary on each of the books. So I'll start with Going Too Far, which is here. Yeah, so this is Going Too Far. I kind of like the cover because like the guy and then the girl, that looks kind of like sexy. Yeah, so basically the girl's name is Meg, and she kind of does these things, she, like these crazy kind of things. And then there's John, who's a police officer, but he's like, I don't know, 18 or something, he's young. And they end up, she does something really bad, so he ends up doing all these kind of stuff, and then it starts off their relationship, and I don't know, I just really liked it, and it was really sweet, but I haven't read it in like, I don't know, 2 years. So my summary isn't that great, but yeah. Then there's Love Story. Love Story is quite sweet. So there's this girl, her name is Erin, and she moved to New York to go to school to study literature. And then this guy comes who is her, I don't know, stable boy, because she used to live on like a barn or whatever, and he comes to New York as well, and he starts telling these, like making these stories and stuff, and she doesn't understand what's going on, because like, why is he here, you know? He took over the family company because she didn't want to, and it's like, I don't know, it's just like really good, and it's a story I think everybody should read. Then there's Forget You by her as well, and this one, her name is Zoe. She gets into an accident of sorts, and she can't remember what happened. And there's this guy who is going to help her, like, kind of figure out what happened. But the reason it's like Forget You is because, you know, something happens and she forgot. And it was also another really sweet story. Then the last song. I don't know. Everybody should read this book. Nicholas Sparks has these sweet movies and books like A Walk to Remember, and in this one, it's Lucy Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth on the front. That's because it's already a movie. I don't know if you've seen the movie, but it's not exactly the same as the book. When I'm reading this book, I cry so much. Like, the pages are probably all screwed up from my tear marks. When I watched the movie as well, I watched it on the plane. Oh my gosh, I couldn't stop crying. There were just like, it was like water just coming down, and it's just a really sweet, lovely story that is really emotional as well. And like, I know people think it's weird to cry, but if you're looking for a good cry, that's the book. The Summer I Turned Pretty. Her name is Belly, but it's actually Isabella, and she always goes to this summer house with her mom's best friend and her 2 sons, and but she looks different this year because she like lost weight, started wearing glasses, and there's a bit of drama there. It's Not Summer Without You is the second one, and it's about what happened. Like, it's a next one, it just continues on. And then the last one from that series is We'll Always Have Summer, which is when they're like more grown up. They're probably in their early 20s, and it's like, they're all really good. Then there's the Blue Bloods series. This book, I really like their names. It's just, I don't know, it's okay. It's about vampires, which you can kind of see by here. The thing is, she's a different kind of vampire, and they don't turn into a vampire straight away. And she's figuring out stuff, different things happen, and like everybody in this book is like, it's such good quality, I don't know, compared to the other ones. Everybody in this book, they're supposed to be with certain people, but there's a little, something happens because she's not like the rest. Everybody else, I don't know how to explain this. Let me think. Okay, so, yeah, you guys are just gonna have to read the book because I cannot explain this properly without giving too much away. That's why I don't really like doing like book reviews and stuff. And then Switched is a book that I got in England. I just saw it. I'm just like, oh my god, the cover is so pretty. I have to get it. It's just part of a series. It's by Amanda Hocking, which I really like her name. I don't know. Amanda Hocking. But yeah, her name is Wendy Everly, and she knew she was different from her mother, who tried to kill her and accused her of having been switched at birth. And look, the title's named Switch, so that gives you a little hint. This one's really good, and it's supernatural as well. And I like supernatural books. Then there's Along for the Ride by Sarah Dessen. Sarah Dessen is one of my favorite authors. I literally have all of her books. The only book I don't have is the Syllabi because I read it in the library, so I'm just like, why would I buy it? But like, they're all up there. This one is really sweet. This girl, oh my god, I also love the color. But yeah, this girl, her name is, let me say, Auden. So, she doesn't know how to ride a bike. This guy is a biker, and he teaches her, and it's all kinds of stuff happens. So that's what this book is about. It's really good. There's Delirium by Lauren Oliver. This book, I also love this part of it. Just ignore me. So, Delirium is in the future where they believe that love is actually like a disease. It says, I'll just read the first part because like I was just like, ooh. So everybody gets cured when they turn 18 or 16. Let me see. Yeah, so it's when you're 18, you get the cure, and you never feel love because it's a disease, and they pair you off with who you're going to be with for the rest of your life. They tell you how many children you're going to have. They tell you what job you're going to be in and where you're going to live, all that kind of stuff. And this one, The Book of Luke by Jenny O'Connell, was also a really good book. What happened? Yeah, she moves back to her hometown and gets back with her old friends, and then, I don't know, I think this guy messes with one of her friends, so they decide that they're going to mess with him using the girl whose name is Emily. So, my camera cut off. Now, the other books I'm going to talk about are on here, on my iPad. So, there's Significance right here, and this one is also supernatural. It's about soulmates, and when they find each other, they end up, but it's not like not everybody gets their soulmate. It's a certain group of people that are supernatural, and they have soulmates, but they're a special case because the girl is human, and it's a little different. Hopefully I'll read the other ones because it's part of a series. Broken and Screwed. Oh, I thought it switched on me. Yeah, Broken and Screwed by Tijan. This one, her brother passes away, and he has a best friend who used to spend time at their house. It's about how people are coping with the loss of the brother, and how the best friend and the girl cope with it together, and how, like, it's just about that basically, and their relationship and how it happened. Hopeless. Hopeless was just all kinds of amazing. I believe in this book she has a friend whose name is Seven, but she makes everybody call her Six, and it'll be so funny if that's actually not what happens. Okay, so I'll leave it at this. And she meets this boy, and, like, for some reason he looks so familiar, and then they end up becoming friends, and then they date and whatnot, and he finally tells her something, and it, like, freaks her out. It turns out that they've known each other before, they knew each other, and a lot happened that she doesn't realize. It keeps you guessing, like, what is gonna happen. Like, you don't completely understand straight away. Then there's 10 Tiny Breaths. This one, the girl, she was in a car with her best friend, her boyfriend, and her two parents, and they got into an accident it was a drunk driving accident. Somebody hit into their car, and everybody died except for her, and so she's traumatized by that, and she acts out a certain way. She has a little sister, but then they run away because of something that happened with the people they lived with. She ends up meeting this guy who it's really good. I just can't tell you guys what happened. Fallen Crest High by Tijan. This book is also really good. It's about a girl whose life ends up getting kind of screwed up because something her mom did, and then her mom cheats on her dad, leaves her dad, ends up with another guy who is, like, one of the richest people in their town, who has two sons, and, like, the sons are, like, celebrities kind of thing. And by celebrities, I mean, like, town celebrities. People talk about them, girls want them, girls throw themselves at them, and they end up becoming her stepbrothers. There is romance in it, and it's really good. Yeah, she finds love and yada yada. It's quite nice. Okay, there's this book called Stolen. This one, the girl gets stolen kidnapped in Bangkok airport. This guy, he kidnaps her to save her, he says, and, like, for months she spends with him in the Australian outback, and he's in love with her. She kind of falls in love with him, but then something happens, and, like, this book had me sympathizing with the boy, whose name is Ty. The girl's name is Gemma, and, like, I was just rooting for them, which is really strange because, like, if I was kidnapped, I would not want you guys rooting for my kidnapper. So it's a bit strange right there. The lady, whose name is Lucy Christopher, did a really good job with the book. Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like, I don't have all of my case on my iPad. And like, it doesn't even make sense anymore because my brother cracked it so bad. I don't know if you can tell. Oh yeah, okay, Such a Rush by Jennifer Echols. A girl, she basically has to take care of herself. She's getting her pilot license, and there's a man who owns all the planes, and like, he treats her almost like a daughter, and he has 2 sons. The sons don't really like him though. No, not like, well, they don't really like the dad because they're upset with him because he's not with the mom anymore. But it's also, they don't really like the girl, but they haven't really met her yet. Slammed is another book by Colleen Hoover, and it's also the beginning of a series. I'm hoping to one day read the 2nd book, except my mom kind of cut me off from reading for a bit because she says I'm spending too much money. But yeah, anyways, so this one, it's about Slammed. It's a poetry kind of, it's not a poetry book because, oh my gosh, if it was, I probably wouldn't like it. I don't like books like that. This book, her dad dies, so they have to move because they can't afford, or either they can't afford or they can't live in that house anymore where they grew up, so they move to another place where it's cold, not like where she's from, which is in Texas. Each chapter has an Abbott brother. I don't know if you've heard of it, Abbott brothers. They're a group of brothers who have some really good music, and what the author does is she takes some of their lyrics, and that's like the beginning of the book, not the book, the chapter, and it kind of molds you to understand what's going to happen in that chapter. And I ended up loving the Abbott brothers, and I listened to their music a lot. Yeah, so what happens is this girl, she meets her neighbor. His name is Will, and it's so weird how I remember the guy's name, but I do not remember the girl's name. And they hit it off straight away. But then something happens, and that kind of puts the relationship on a hold, and the mom is keeping a secret from the girl, which is really devastating. But all in all, it's really good. I would recommend reading it. I read it really quickly as well. Taking Chances is another good book. This girl, her name is, I do not remember. Let me see. Yeah, I'll probably find it later. Her name doesn't matter at this point. She is moving away from her father for college. Her dad had to raise her. He's an army person, I don't know. So she had to move around a lot. She trained with the guys that were in the army and that kind of thing, and they all treated her like a little sister. She only wore clothes that were there. She didn't like go shopping, do any of those stuff. And then when she goes to college, her roommate, I believe it's her roommate, she takes her out to a party at her brother's house. She meets the brother, whose name is Chase, and then later on she meets this other guy. And it takes course over like maybe 2 years, maybe about that, and everything is just, it's so, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I was reading this book maybe 4 in the morning at one point, and something happened, and oh my gosh, I couldn't stop crying. My mom didn't want me to read the book anymore. But like, you really get a connection with the characters, and you end up loving them all. And yep, that's all of them. Thank you for watching. I know this was a really long vlog, but you know, reading's important, and I want to share my 2 cents with everybody because, you know, what is the point of reading all these books if I'm not going to share it with anybody? Leave me a comment about which books you've read, or if you've read any of them, if you like them, if you're planning to read them. You can ask me any questions about them because I'd love to tell you. I might do reviews on a little bit of them. I don't know what I'll do. Also, like this video if you want me to do 20 books everyone should read in May, because I would love to do that. I have so many books I just want to share with everybody, and hopefully my mom will start letting me buy books again so I could read some more, so I can share some more books. I think that is all that I have. Oh, also, if there's any books that you guys want me to read, or you think I would enjoy reading from listening to the books that I like, please share them because I'm always looking for new books.